It's probably gonna break my heart again, and I'm very excited about it. Oh, this sound, it doesn't sound good when I say it, but it's amazing, okay? Hello everyone, it's been a while. A lot has happened since I last made a video. Basically, I moved. Woo! Hence, I don't have a bookcase yet. Basically, life has been really hectic because of moving, but we're sort of settled down-ish now, and I have some energy to start filming again. But I thought I would start with something very simple just to get back in the swing of things. Basically, I just wanted to talk about books. Question number 1, the best book you've read so far in 2022. That one is actually the book that I'm reading right now. So it's kind of cheating because I haven't finished it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's better than anything I've read up until this point. And I've read some really good books this year, but this one just tops it all. This is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I'm sure you've heard of it by now. I feel like it's pretty popular. And I see why. It takes place in a world where humans and magic people live together. And our main character, Linus Baker, is a 40-something-year-old man who is a magical orphanage inspector. He takes his job very seriously. He's all about duty. One day, his company sends him on a mission to this particular orphanage, which is supposedly very dangerous because of the magical children that live in it. He has to stay there and check if the orphanage is too dangerous to exist or not. And it's just the most charming thing I've ever read. It's so sweet. The writing is so imaginative and it's so vivid, so clear. I want this to be a movie so bad. The dialogue is so funny. Also, I'm just completely in love with every single character in this. It's so good. If you haven't read this, pick it up. Number 2 is the best sequel you've read so far. I haven't read any sequels, I think. However, yesterday when I went to the bookshop, I found something. It's very exciting. That's this little thingy. It's Before Your Memory Fades by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, who is also the author of Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which is, hold on, over here. There's no rhyme or reason. I just threw these books at the wall, so finding books is not going to be easy. But yes, it's, I think, a companion novel or a sequel to The Coffee Gets Cold. I'm not sure. All I know is that it takes place in the same cafe or a similar cafe. Before the Coffee Gets Cold is about a cafe where you can come and have a drink and you can time travel within the cafe to a different time in the cafe. The only rule is you have to come back to the present before the coffee gets cold. Before the Coffee Gets Cold is a super sweet but also heartbreaking little book. When I saw this, I just had to have it because I didn't even know this was a thing. Before Your Memory Fades sounds like this is gonna make me cry again, but I can't wait. I love crying. Number 3 is a new release that you haven't read yet. Now this one, I think it's gonna be the next book I read because I'm just very, very excited about it, and that is 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. When I heard what this was about, I just immediately fell in love with how magical and whimsical and beautiful the story sounded. I'm really into the idea of reading fantasy books at the moment, and this, I think, is gonna feed me what I need. I saw a beautiful hardcover of it yesterday at the bookshop and I almost bought it, but I didn't do it because I have it on my iPad ready, and so I don't want to splurge yet. Like, what if it's not good? I think it's going to be really good, but you know, you never know. From what I understand, it is a fairy tale based on Chinese folklore, which sounds great. I don't 100% remember what it was about. I think it's like about a princess and she gets cursed and her brothers get turned into cranes and she has to like undo the curse or something, and I think she gets turned into a peasant and she has to and she can't tell anyone that she's the princess. I don't know, it sounded so fairy tale-esque and beautiful and original. Like, there were a lot of elements that I was like, oh, I've never heard that before. So I'm very excited about this. Then question number 4, your most anticipated release for the second half of the year. This one has got to go to The First to Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This is the prequel, I believe, to They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera, which is, where is it? They Both Die at the End is probably my favorite YA contemporary. This one broke me. Like, I was not okay for a few days after. Oof. It's about this world in which 24 hours before you die, you get a message saying you're gonna die. In this book, it's about two boys that don't know each other that both get the message, and they spend their last day together, and yeah, it breaks your heart. I have no idea what the prequel is about, but it takes place in the same world, and it's probably also about people that are gonna die, so it's probably gonna break my heart again, and I'm very excited about it. Number 5 is the biggest disappointment of the year so far. I feel really bad about saying this still because it's such a popular book, although not everyone loves it, I guess. I was so excited about this book because it seemed like it was going to be exactly my kind of book, and I didn't like it, and that's Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I tend to really like Leigh Bardugo's writing, and I think like the more books she writes, the better her writing gets. Like that's what I tend to think of her books. But Ninth House was just so boring to me somehow, and it's weird because I love spooky books, I love dark academia. I was so bored throughout this entire thing. Well, to be fair, I didn't finish it. I really tried, and I just couldn't do it. So that's my biggest disappointment. Then we have the biggest surprise so far of the year, and that one has got to go to The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I tend to be scared of classics. I often feel like I'm not big-brained enough to get them, or, you know, English is not my first language, so like if it's like very old-timey English, I often get confused. But this was so interesting and easy to get through. Like, this was a very quick read. Mainly what shocked me about this is how understood I felt by this book, which is weird because, you know, it's a little bit of an unhinged woman book. Yeah, I don't know if I should be concerned that I relate so much to the main character here, but I did. I love this book so much. I love the protagonist in this, and it's very near and dear to my heart now. Who would have thought? Question number 7, favorite new author. For me, the author that I really like, that has solidified itself into my life, has got to be, where is she? I don't know if you can see this. Sayaka Murata. I got Earthlings and Convenience Store Woman. Both of these books blew me away. Again, these were like books that made me feel so understood. And again, that is probably very questionable because these are also, especially Earthlings, very, not to use buzzwords, but unhinged woman books. Earthlings is, but like, ooh, I love Sayaka Murata's mind and the things she writes about, and I will read every single thing that she's ever written. I want to read it all. I want to put it in my brain because I love her brain. Both Convenience Store Woman and Earthlings are about not feeling like you fit in with society, and this sound, it doesn't sound good when I say it, but it's amazing, okay? It just deals with it in such a disgustingly beautiful way. I don't know how to, like, it's so real, but then at the same time it's so surreal. A huge content warning for Earthlings though, like every single trigger warning that there possibly exists in that book, but they're really good. I just love Sayaka Murata. Question number 8, newest fictional crush. This took me a while to figure out, but like I think I've got it. And this is a character from a book that I didn't like. But like the character is kind of hot though, so you know what I mean? You know what I mean. And that is Felix from Beautiful World, Where Are You? Where is she? Oh, there she is. Sally Rooney, Beautiful World, Where Are You? Yeah, man, Sally Rooney is really the it girl of the book world right now. I've only read Beautiful World, Where Are You? But I did not like it. It was a frustrating thing to get through. However, Felix is pretty hot. I don't know. He's like a total mess, but like he owns it. Like he knows that he's a total mess. Like I can appreciate that. He's not a hypocrite. I don't know, his heart is in the right place, even though he's a mess, as I said before. Yeah, I don't know. So if I had to pick someone, yeah, Felix can get it. Then question number 9, newest favorite character. It's hard to pick because there are so many characters that I really fell in love with this year. I mean, I'm reading The House in the Cerulean Sea right now, and I'm obsessed with every single character in this book. Linus Baker, the orphanage inspector, is such like, I just want to give him a hug. But then again, I think my favorite character from The House in the Cerulean Sea is Lucy, 100%. Lucy, just every single bit of dialogue coming from Lucy's mouth is like highlighted in my copy and is tabbed because it makes me smile and laugh and giggle, and I love Lucy. What can I say? Oh, but I gotta give a shout out as well to what's his name, Raymond from Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. I'm listening to that on audiobook right now, and I just love Raymond so much. He's just such a sweet, nice, lovely guy. I wish I had someone like Raymond in my life. Like, he's such a like normal, ordinary dude, but he's so nice, and I just think he's lovely. Yeah. Question number 10, a book that made you cry. Most books make me cry. I think if a book doesn't make me cry, I kind of like don't. It's probably not a very good book. But for this one, if I have to like pick one, I'm gonna pick Heaven by Mieko Kawakami. Is that the name? Did I say that right? Heaven by Mieko Kawakami. I love this book. This is Japanese translated fiction. It is a book about 2 high school students in Japan that get severely bullied, and it's about a friendship that blooms between the 2 of them. It's very sad. It's also very hard, and like if you don't like reading about bullying and that kind and like violence, and just don't read it. But like, oh, this made me cry a lot. Not necessarily because of the bullying, but there's this one conversation that the boy that gets bullied and one of the bullies have. They like at one point sit down together outside of school, just like randomly. They are in a same place, and they have this whole conversation. The kid that gets bullied asks the bully like, why do you do it? And they have such an open conversation about it. And that whole conversation, I was bawling my eyes out because it was so real and hard to read. And it just opened my mind in a lot of ways. I don't know how to express this without like giving everything away, but just, man, it's a good book. Then question 11, a book that made you happy. I don't know, I've read a lot of sad books this year, so I'm gonna have to repeat myself and say The House in the Cerulean Sea again, because this is like the most feel-good book I've read in a very long time. This makes me so happy. Even though like sad things happen and like they talk about like really serious topics, you know, in this case it's like the validity of magical children, which, you know, you can relate to the real world, and so it's quite harsh in that way, but mostly it's just, I love all the characters so much, and all these magical children are so lovely, and their caretaker is so lovely, and Linus Baker is so lovely, and I just think this book is lovely. Number 12, the most beautiful book that you have received or bought this year. I was gonna show my copy of Frankenstein that I got from my uncle who lives in the States. It's a secondhand copy, and it's so beautiful, and I can't wait to read it. I just don't know where it is. I know it's in one of the boxes, but I can't show it to you. So maybe as a consolation prize, I also have a very pretty, I have this really beautiful copy of The Traveling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikawa. It's a beautiful hardcover that's like a little bit shiny, and the inside looks like this, and it's the feel of it's also important. And then the last question, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? This is a hard one because I'm a very intuitive reader. I just read whatever I want, and I like having a lot of options. I have to read Frankenstein this autumn. That's going to be my spooky read because I just received the most beautiful copy of it. I just need to find it. That's all. I also really want to read Six Crimson Cranes, as I said before. And then, hold on. Let me look at my TBR because I have some more. I do have The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I'm really intrigued by that. I think that might be a middle grade spooky witchy story, which sounds really nice. I also kind of want to read A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. I really want to read A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers because I've heard really good things about that book. I have no idea what it's about, but like I've been recommended it by multiple people, so. Yeah, oh, finally, I should read The Secret History. This book is heavy. It doesn't look big, but like it's a thick boy. But yes, I really want to read The Secret History. Hopefully I'll get to that as well. So yeah, those are some book ramblings by me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, leave it a like, and if you want to see more stuff like this, feel free to subscribe. Yeah, that's gonna be all for me today. Hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.